Hey, wrenchers. I'm having to fight the urge of just tearing parts off of this 1966 CB160. I think I need to pump the brake a little. And the reason I want to pump the brake just a little bit as I start diving into this rebuild is because I want to do some documentation. I still haven't really gone around the bike taking pictures, and most importantly, I haven't taken a look at the routing of the various control cables or the wiring harness. So in today's video, we're going to document a CB160's cable routing and wiring harness routing. So we tear it all apart, we're going to have some references to put it all back together again. So here we go. We've got the 1966 CB160 with 13,697 miles on it. And we've got a bunch of control cables that we want to track the routing on. Let's start with the throttle cable, all right? Coming out underneath the perch right here. And that thing is going to travel over, down the right side of the headlight bucket, in between the fork gear, all the way down. And then from the inside, from here, it's going to roll straight in to the frame and down below to the carburetors. All right, let's take a look at it from the left side. There's your throttle cable, and it is going underneath the bracket right here for your coils, okay? And it's going straight down underneath, just above the motor, into those carbs. All right, let's stay on the right-hand side here, and let's do our front brake cable. Front brake cable's coming through. It's going to go right in between the gauge, and I guess they call that the triple tree. That's going to come down along the back right here. That's the cable, and it's going to come all the way down into a catch on the fender and then drape its way onto the actual mechanism. So again, that's going to go all the way up through the catch, all the way up, and then it's going to stick out straight up through the top behind the headlight bucket, all the way over into the control. All right, next up, we got our front brake. Let's do our rear brake. Rear brake floats on the inside of the muffler right there. And if we can zoom in, we've got our switch right here, and here is the actual cable. Cable is going to go up into a little retainer. That actually looks like that is part of the frame. And then it is loose and just goes up. This isn't a mount or anything. That's just some stuff. Get that out of the way, and that's going to droop up and right down into the retainer. Let's get a better look at this. So here we're coming up and around right behind the shock and into the mount on that rear brake drum. Okay, nothing crazy there. All right, the clutch cable looks like it's the most complicated. It's going to come off the right side, across and down in between the triple tree and the gauge, so right behind the bucket. And if we follow this down, it's actually coming underneath the frame and through underneath this bracket right above the motor, and then straight down. Nice and loose, no tension points. You can turn the handlebars. None of the cables are binding at all. So that feels actually really natural to be in this position. If you have any binding on your cables, that's usually a red flag that you got something going on. And lastly, we have our speedometer cable. Goes in on the right side of the hub. It's going to come up through this retainer on the cross member on the fender, and it's going to just loop up. On the other side here, there's another little retainer. And right there is the retainer. This is on the inside of the right fork. And then it just goes straight up into the headlight bucket. There you can see it going up into the bottom of the headlight bucket. And from there, it's going to plug or screw right in to the actual gauge on the inside. And that is it as far as control cables go on the 160. All right, we know the routing for those. Now let's go see what kind of damage replacing these is going to take. So we've got 5 different cables here. And over on eBay, there is a kit, but they all have 4 okay? They all have 4 pieces. They're all missing the rear brake cable, which I'm going to need, right? So we've got the whole kit right here, the whole darn thing. Got our we got our throttle cable, we've got our speedometer cable, we've got our front brake cable, and we have our clutch cable. But we're also going to need to look for the rear cable, or the rear brake cable. So let's do a quick, oh, there might have been one right here. This is a pre-owned one. Let's see if we can find a quick one here. So we're looking at about $100 for cables. And let's see what a rear brake cable is going to cost us. Might be able to refurb the one that we've got. I don't know. I haven't really taken a look at it. But just trying to get an idea here. Genuine, wow, that rear brake cable, new old stock's $80, $90. So looks like those 4 aren't going to be a problem. For budgeting purposes, I think I'm probably going to budget about $150 just in cables. Just in cables, I think it's going to be about $150 to do the CB160. All right, now let's kind of document this wiring harness. Of course, most of it's going to be coming out the back of the headlight bucket. Got our main loom, gray loom, coming straight out. I've got a yellow that goes up into the handlebars. This actually goes for the electric start that is on this. I'll show you that here in a second. And then we got another blue bundle that goes up into the handlebars for the high beam, low beam, and the horn. Here's the left control. We do have our high beam, low beam. Does it move? It moves. High beam, low beam, and our horn button actually still works. That's it on the left side. On the left side, I'm actually really surprised. There is a broken electric start button. And by God, there is an electric starter on the front of this thing. And there she be. I didn't even notice that before. Everything I was reading said that they were kick only. I got an electric starter. Just got to fix the switch. All right, let's keep documenting this. Here's the main blue, gray coming out. And we're going to have a few branches, okay? This is coming out here. And then it's going to split off to your ignition. This is actually your ignition. I wonder if that'll come apart. Yeah, that came apart. So this is actually connected right to the back of the ignition right here. Boom, just like that. And that is going to run all the way to the back. I don't see really anything else. Okay, we got one branching off here. This is going into the coil. So your coil wire is on the right side. That's coming up underneath here. And that plugs in to this first offshoot right there. The rest of it's going to carry on. Looks like there is a little wire retainer there. Let me get you a shot of this. There is a really small little wire kind of holder that is welded right to the frame. Give you a frame of reference on that. We're right at the T on the frame. So your wiring harness will actually clip in there. And then it's going to roll on the back side here and to the right side. I probably should hop over to. All right, so here on the other side of the bike, this is the retainer I was just talking about. And just off of that, that wiring harness is going to split. So here, there's a batch of wires that go down. Looks like blue, orange, brown, stuff like that. And then there's another line that goes back out across this way. And that is your main power line. Right here, this is your main power. And then from there, it branches off again, wouldn't you know? So here's that main power line. Again, there's a little retainer underneath here for all of the rectifier, starter solenoid, and then all the way back to the rear lamp. Another little thing worth noting is that there are 2 bands that go around the middle support. There's one there, and then there's one down here. And that is all that is for that brake light switch. Pretty sure that's all that's down there. Yeah, that just goes to the brake light switch. Just holding that in place. The only other thing, you tell me, what do you think that's for? That's just kind of hanging out there. Just hanging out, little red wire, grounded out. Ground for something. Another thing worth noting is the routing of the cable off the solenoid to the starter, okay? So this drops down, and there is a retainer right here, and that actually runs all the way up underneath the motor. Let's get a look at that. This is going to be a really tricky shot, but here's that cable right here. It's running up underneath the motor, and it comes up on the left side, up around the back of the starter motor right here. And it actually wraps around the back of the starter motor, and then it plugs in right there. Huh, that'll be fun. This bike is gonna be full of nuances. All right, so we got the general idea of how to route the wiring harness. Now let's go look and see how much one of these is gonna be. New old stock, $219. We're not gonna probably spend that. Here's one, main wiring harness, reproduction, $77. Here's a used one, $30. Here's one for $84. Yep. Start saving your money. At the end of the day, I think we're looking at about $235 for cables and wiring. Could be worse. So that's not bad, $235. It's necessary, gonna have to do it. Now, before I dive into tearing this thing down and like really stripping it down, I'm gonna go around with my camera and take a ton of photos. And I'm talking like a ton of photos, really getting in, taking a ton of photos of every possible thing. On my first bike, I had over 1,000 individual photos. I don't know if I'm gonna go that nuts, but I'm gonna take a lot of photos of every little thing on this bike. All in all, this actually has great bones. Do you remember where that 1972 CL350 started? That thing was a basket case. I think there's a lot of hope for the 65 CB160. We'll see you in the next video or live stream.